Today, I want you to hear the most important advice, the wisest advice that King Solomon ever received. Take a listen to this. In 1 Chronicles chapter 28, David's passing the torch on to his son. And what he says is, "Son, I'm going to tell you the secret of my success." David was probably the most successful king in all of human history. He came from nothing. He's a shepherd boy. He's a guy that, protects sheep. And yet God raises him up to be the king of his nation, Israel. And he conquers the nations around him. And he lives a long time and reigns for 40 years. One of the longest reigning kings in Israel's history. And he says there's been a secret to my success. Now, every wealthy person, every successful person has a secret to their success. There's an angle, the reason why they were successful. And many times there's a couple of them, but there's usually just one big one. And you know what most people do that are really successful? They do the same thing over and over and over and over. And they got one game they play and they keep playing it. And, they may do a lot of other things, but the real reason that they were successful was this one thing. David says, listen, I want to give you the secret of my success. In verse 9 of chapter 28 of 1 Chronicles, he says, "And you, Solomon, my son, know the God of your father and serve him with a whole heart and a willing mind. For the Lord searches all the minds and understands every plan and thought." Here's what he says. The secret of my success has been my relationship with God. I fought a lot of military battles and won them, but the secret of my success was my relationship with God. I made wise decisions in choosing leaders and dividing up lands, but the secret of my relationship, or the secret of my success, was my relationship with God. We've become a very wealthy nation, made treaties and made decisions, but the secret of my success was my relationship with God. Your takeaway today is this: receive the best advice the wisest man in the world ever got. The secret of your success, not just today, but for your entire life, is going to be your walk with God. Are you walking with Him? Are you hearing His voice? This was David's life. You read the Psalms, and that was his life. A day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. In your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand there's pleasures forevermore. This was David's life. Is this your life? This moment-by-moment experience of dwelling in the Holy Spirit, hearing His voice, and doing His will. That's the only thing that will make you successful in life. Let that be the secret of your success. Let that be the epitaph on your grave. And if it is, you will live a very successful life. But why don't you do that today and just see what God does in your life this day?